of these twins often can't tell them apart. So she had to put different bracelets on them to tell them apart. As they grew up, they realized that if they swapped their outfits, no one could tell them apart. So they swapped identities to experience each other's schools, lives and even boyfriends. Until one day, her sister realized that this life wasn't what she wanted. She wanted a life of her own. And that's when she met Jack, who had just moved into town. They fell in love very quickly. That day, as she and Jack were about to get married at the church, suddenly there was a fire. In the chaos, they managed to escape, but the fire killed the homeless man on the upper floor of the church. After that day, Jack was never heard from again. People suspected him of setting the fire. Only his sister knew. He left to protect himself. Years later, my sister married Matt and lived happily ever after. The huge gap between the two made her rebellious, so she chose to leave town and went to Los Angeles to work. But that didn't cure her. She always felt like she was living in her sister's shadow. Until Charlie, the psychiatrist, came along. She helped her out and encouraged her to write a novel about the twins. The novel was a huge success, and the sister and Charlie got together. And as the days went by, the sisters began to get pregnant at the same time. It was so exciting, but in the end, the sister's baby was miscarried, and the sisters suffered from postnatal depression. That day in the woods, sister suggested that they could exchange their lives as before. For one thing, her sister could experience the joy of motherhood, and she wouldn't have to worry about postpartum depression. That's how it was. They agreed to exchange their identities every year on their birthdays. At first, it was like a new life for both of them, but as time went by, problems began to emerge. The sister became more and more controlling of both lives, without her sister's consent. She even talked to the publisher about publishing a book about her miscarriage. Not only that, she installed cameras in her mansion in Los Angeles. Until now, she realized that she didn't share her life with her sister. She had her life taken away from her. She wanted to escape from this life, but she couldn't find a way out. And that day, she was playing the role of her sister in a small town. She met her lover Jack. She told her the secret that she and her sister had swapped identities, but when asked why she left, Jack replied that it was because of her sister. So that's when she found Jack, that if she left the town, she said that if she left town, she could protect her sister from police investigation. Jack had to take the blame and leave alone. Until now, they didn't realize she lied to her because she was jealous of them. The sister suspected that she was involved in the fire that year. After investigation, she found out that it was her sister who set the fire. The pieces of her sister's bracelet were found at the scene of the fire, so a plan of revenge and escape began in her mind.